Hello and welcome, I'm your Code Monkey. So a while ago on my C# course I got a real interesting question. Over here Trex asks, I know there are many design patterns out there, but I'm interested in learning which ones are the most useful in game development. I'm already familiar with Singleton, Observer, Service Locator, and Object Pooling. What are your personal favorite or go-to design patterns? Or rather, which key ones do you think I definitely should know about? And yep, that's a very important question. Design patterns is one of those things that can be an insane amount of help. It's kind of like a cheat code in solving many problems. Basically, there's no point in you reinventing the wheel if other people have already invented a design pattern that perfectly solves your problem. This question was posted on my C# course. It's a massive course that covers everything from C# from beginner to advanced. There's a free video over here on YouTube. And if you can afford it, there's a premium version with a bunch of awesome bonuses. It includes a companion project and interactive exercise so you can actually learn by doing. And actually right now, since it's summer, because of that, I made a special summer-only bundle containing all my courses. So it contains the premium C# course. It also includes my Ultimate Unity Overview course. So this is where I explain over 70 tools and features that the engine has. Then it includes my Dots course. Dots is really awesome. It's for writing code that runs literally 200 times faster. This is really impressive. Then it also includes the premium version of my 2 multiplayer courses. So one on making a simple game using either netcode for game objects or netcode for entities. Also includes the premium version of my free Kitchen Chaos course and the multiplayer follow-up, as well as my older but still pretty nice the Builder Defender course. Then it's got my visual scripting course if you want to try that out. And I've even included my upcoming Lunar Lander course. This one will be coming out later this month. And just for fun, I also included all 9 of my own Steam games. So everything here, all of this contains an insane amount of knowledge. If you go through everything in this bundle, I guarantee you won't be able to make pretty much any game you can think of. This summer bundle, this one is only available for a limited time. If you don't have any of my course yet, then this is a great deal, so check it out in the link in the description. Back to the question on design patterns. One of the lectures on design patterns, and over here I talk about all of the various patterns that you can use. You can see, for example, on Wikipedia how there are tons and tons of design patterns. Lots of them solve various different problems, but yep, there is a ton of them. So here the original question is, since there are so many, which ones are the most useful ones in game development? Basically over here in my answer, I said it's going to depend quite a bit on what kind of game you're making. Meaning that a simple platformer game will have less complexity than an automation game. So if you're making a simple game, kind of like Flappy Bird, you don't really have too many super complex problems. So you don't really need too many complex design patterns to help you solve those problems, because again, in a simple game, you only have simple problems. But in general, the two you absolutely must know about are the Singleton pattern and the Observer pattern. Those are absolutely insanely useful in every single game, in every single genre. And yep, I would say I don't think I've ever made a game that did not have a single Singleton. I don't think I've ever made a game that did not have a single event. So in all the games that I've built in over the years, yep, these two I can guarantee have always been insanely useful to me. I didn't make a lecture specifically on the Singleton pattern, because again, this one is insanely useful. And I also have another lecture dedicated to events, which is basically the Observer pattern, which again, also insanely useful. So these two I would say are definitely absolutely essential. If you don't know about these, definitely go ahead and learn about them right now. Like I said, they're insanely useful in pretty much every single game, every single genre. And then the others will depend on the use case. For example, object pooling is an excellent choice if you have performance issues with objects spawning and destroying. In case you don't know, basically object pooling solves the problem of being it very expensive to spawn or destroy objects. So for example, if you are spawning a ton of bullets, a ton of spells, a ton of anything, if you are spawning a ton of objects, if you try to spawn and destroy objects pretty much as soon as they are needed, so whenever you want to shoot a bullet, spawn a bullet, it gets to the target, gets destroyed. If you're constantly doing that, instantiating and destroying game objects, that is going to be insanely inefficient. It is going to make your game have a ton of stutters and a ton of terrible performance. So that's where object pooling comes in. You basically pre-create a pool of game objects, and then instead of instantiating and destroying game objects, instead of that you just enable, reuse an object, then when the pool reaches the end, you disable it, put it back in the pool, then bring back the next one and so on. So instead of spawning and destroying, you're constantly reusing disabled objects. By the way, specifically for this, for object pools, Unity actually recently added an object pool class directly into the engine. So previously you had to build your own object pool, whereas now you can just use this one. Then another example, the command pattern is great if you want to implement an undo function. The command pattern basically lets you create commands, and those commands can then be executed. So for example, the command move the player to the right, you can do that, execute it, and the player moves right. You can have another command move left, execute it, and the player moves left. And like I said, this can be very useful if you want to make an undo function. So for each command, you can have both the execute command and the undo command. So you've got the player move right, you execute it and the player moves right. And then you can basically have that command have an undo function, where instead of moving right, basically just reverts back to the thing. So you can have a list of commands, so move right, move right, move right. You can execute them all, so the player moves right 3 times. And you can go through that same list of commands. Instead of calling the execute function, you call the undo function. And on this one, moves left, moves left, moves left. So yep, the command pattern is really great for implementing undo and redo functions. Then the strategy pattern, this one can be really great if you want modularity. This one is essentially just interfaces. It's how you can have, for example, some kind of algorithm that you implement in multiple different ways, and you can easily swap them back in or out. Which again, you can do that with simple interface. So if you want modularity, this can be super useful. For example, let's say you are making a character controller, and you want that character to work in multiple different ways, like let's say one that moves with physics and one that moves without physics. You can basically have the character controller implement some kind of interface engine, and on that interface engine, you can create an engine that uses physics and one that does not, and you can easily swap them back and forth, and everything works. Then, like I said here, on the other hand, personally, I have never found a use for something like the factory pattern. That is one of the most widely used patterns. A lot of people really like factories. Personally, I never really quite got the interest of it. So that also brings me to something very important that I wrote here, which is how there's also a part that is just personal preference. Again, going back to this giant list of design patterns, there's an insane amount of them. You can keep scrolling down, you can keep finding more patterns to solve more different problems. And a lot of these are very useful when applied to one specific problem, but again, they're also personal preference. You might find that you prefer a different way of solving a certain specific problem, as opposed to using just a design pattern that Wikipedia and random people recommend. So when it comes to all of these, yep, there's really a certain amount of personal preference. Always remember how these are just guidelines to help you make your job easier. If a design pattern helps you make something easier, then yep, go ahead and use it. If you find that it actually doesn't help, it actually hurts more than it helps, if so, then don't feel obligated to use it. And like I wrote here, Unity's free ebook and companion project is actually a great source on this topic. I made a video on this. This is something that Unity made that is really awesome, I really like it. Basically, they made an entire giant ebook with tons of information, and then they made an actual companion project with practical examples on a bunch of programming patterns, as well as a bunch of solid principles. This is really awesome, so if you haven't seen this ebook and this little project, definitely go ahead and watch it. It's a completely free project. Another great resource is this video over here by Circuit Studios. It covers a ton of design patterns, like 100 of them, in just one single video. So if you want to see more detail on all those patterns that you've seen on Wikipedia, if so, definitely go ahead and watch this video. There might be some patterns that you might not know about, might be super useful for whatever game you're working on. And then here, the AI bot in the course also gave a bunch more patterns. So the command pattern, yep, like I mentioned, the factory pattern, which again, personally I don't like it, but can be very useful. Dependency injection, this one can be insanely useful, especially on more complex games, like I was telling you a while ago. For making Flappy Bird, you don't really need too many complex design patterns, but if you're making an automation game, then something like this, something like dependency injection, might be super useful, basically helping you test things quite a bit more. Then the adapter pattern, if you're working with external APIs, that can be super useful. So yep, as you can see, tons and tons of patterns to help solve tons and tons of problems. But if you just want the ones that I highly recommend you absolutely know about, then I would say these two, the singleton and the observer pattern, so really events. If you know those two are definitely useful in pretty much any game you want to make. And if you know them, you have a great tool in your toolbox. If you don't know them, then I highly recommend you go and learn about them. Like I said, I have lectures on those two and many more topics over here in my C# course. There's a free video on YouTube with all the video lectures if you can't afford them. But if you can't afford the premium version, then this one is really awesome, specifically because it has the companion project, which has interactive exercise, so you can actually learn by doing. So if you want to take your C# skills to the next level, check out the link in the description. Or get the CodeMonkey Summer Bundle with all my courses and all my games in one deep discount. Alright, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.